Hello, big boys and big girls, and welcome to the finale recap.
Hello there.
We have 2 nights of shows to recap tonight, but we don't want to take an hour to do that. So we're going to catch you up to speed on what happened on Monday, and then we're going to spend most of the time talking about the 3 big things from tonight, which is...
everything with Hannah Ann, the proposal and the breakup. Madison, sorry, I didn't know you were counting for me. Madison and where they are now. And finally, BARB. So let's start off with Monday night's episode. Please stop texting me, my 2 friends that text me. I'm a little busy
Seriously,
right now.
in the middle of something.
Monday night, basically, both of the girls met the family and they loved Hannah Ann. I feel like I'm in some weird world, but they loved Hannah Ann so much. I mean, Peter's mom
Yeah, it was weird.
could not get enough of her. It was creepy. Basically, the whole family was obsessed with Hannah Ann and they didn't like Madi, which is just a backwards, weird world that we're living in.
Peter's a mama's boy, and Barbara runs that house.
Just again, Peter's family is so confused saying Madi has red flags. No red flags.
0 red flags.
0 red flags there. And then I just yelled a bunch in this. I yelled, what is wrong with his family? Loved whenever Barb was crying a ton and Peter said, you gotta stop doing this.
We will welcome her with open arms. We will welcome her with all the love in the world. All the love in the world.
You gotta stop doing this.
Yeah, I love when he cut her off.
I loved that.
Because she's emotionally manipulative.
Yeah, but imagine like Peter's entire upbringing.
Yeah, his whole life, and his dad's whole
So
life
Barb.
is just with Barbara,
Crying.
full name Barbara, just like imposing her will.
Barb.
But yeah, they said that Madison had red flags, and the red flags were that she was a virgin and wanted to wait until marriage.
Maddie breaks up with Peter on Monday night's episode and she says, as much as we want this, I don't know if we can give each other what we need.
It was sad because she called it surrendering him, because she said, I do love you, and that's why I'm going to get out of your way, because I don't think I'm the right choice for you. It's the old, if you love someone, set them free. That's what she was doing.
Oh.
That's literally what she was doing.
If you love someone, let them go. If they come back, they were yours. And if they don't come back, they were never yours to begin with. I think I used to post that as my AIM away status.
Yeah. Well, it's deep.
I was going to say about AIM messages, AIM, posting deep and, elusive quotes as your away messages and things like that that we all did when we were very young. Hannah Ann posted a caption the other day that said, I've been really into like deep quotes lately. What's your favorite quote?
We all went through that phase, and she's just coming up to that age where she's going through that phase.
That's a long time ago. You don't go through that
People
phase.
mature at different rates now. These kids.
Oh my God, it made me so mad. Okay, we're moving into the proposal of Petey Boy and Hannah Ann. Chris Harrison comes up to Pete and says that he isn't positive if Hannah Ann is coming.
That was a psyop.
What's a psyop?
A psychological operation. He was literally trying to sabotage the last second. He saw that Madison went home, and he knows that Hannah Ann's not right. If I was Peter, I'd have been like, would you mind, could you find out?
Right, could we see if she left?
Maybe call her and see if she is.
He was like, I don't know if she's here. She might be here. She might not be here. But like, why even say that, Chris Harrison? What are you doing?
He was letting Peter's heart go from 100 miles an hour on Hannah to completely slow down and think, is this what I even want? Did I just dodge a bullet? And then he goes, oh, by the way, she's actually coming. Chris is playing the matchmaker this year.
Yeah, he is.
He's tired of just watching things fall apart in front of him.
So then Peter's ready to propose. Turns out Hannah Ann is there. Peter's ready to propose and Hannah Ann is walking towards him and completely just fumbling the whole way up. And then Peter's like, you look so gorgeous walking up here. But she was like tiptoeing on
It's probably
rocks
endearing.
and stuff.
It's like watching Bambi get off the ice. That was a cute scene.
Then he proposes and it was horrible.
It was a bad proposal. It was kind of cheesy. I think I've watched 12 seasons of this show, and I've never seen a less emotional proposal. And then her reaction was like, really, me? It was the same reaction if you're like, hey, we're going to Domino's. We're getting Domino's pizza for dinner. Because she was like, really? Anything I want from the menu?
No, it was a reaction as if she was winning one of her pageant awards. Because she was like, me? You chose me?
Yeah, there was that, but it was dialed down. It was literally... When you get engaged, it's like, this is the reaction level. She was down here like...
Yeah, I didn't cry during the proposal, and I always cry all the time, so...
Same. I didn't get choked up at all. I was like, this is stupid. Next.
It was terrible. Okay, so then he goes and he tells his parents that he's engaged to Hannah Ann. Barb's reaction was terrible. Like, she was on edge as if he was gonna say it was Madi.
As if that would break her.
Right.
You have to remember, this
Barb.
is your son and his choice.
And what if he did pick back then Madi? Like, what were you going to do, Barb?
I know what she would have done. She would have continued to be a horrible person.
I know, and that really stinks that's. I know.
I feel bad that he's in that environment. Yeah, like that's a terrible way to grow up. And I think he still lives at home. I heard.
And how old is Peter Weber?
28.
Because his brother's 25, and so they both just live at home.
Mm-hmm.
They're a weird. There's something.
I think
going
she
on.
still gives him baths. Like I get a bathtub vibe from her.
I think they're both in the bath at the same time.
That's what I mean. She's like bath time, and then
Yeah.
she scrubs them all down.
And Dad's like downstairs just listening to music.
It's my new toy.
Take my notes. You run the show. You run the show. This is why we can't do this anymore.
I can't read your handwriting. That's how you know he loves Madison. He talks to Hannah like this.
Yeah.
Madison like this.
Nose is touching. And then also whenever they're at the house, they FaceTime Hannah Ann. And even Peter's brother goes, "We love you, Hannah."
Love you, sis. Yeah, the mom kept calling her daughter. You're our daughter now.
Oh, it's
Like,
so gross.
There's a couple steps in between there.
It's so gross.
She needs to just take a step back.
She should have just had a girl.
It's not your call.
Just relax. Relax a little,
Yeah.
Barb. Chill.
Okay.
my dad
On
would
to,
say,
I
take
get
a
angry
chill
when I
pill.
think about Barbara, so.
Okay, sorry. I know it's hard. It's hard. Unfortunately, I have something next on my notes about Barb.
Barbara's the star of this episode, so it's hard to avoid her, but we're trying to stick to the important stuff.
It shows Peter and Hannah Ann breaking up, and Peter's basically saying, my heart is pulled in two directions, blah, 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 everything we already knew. So they show Peter and Hannah Ann breaking up. We go back to the live session, and we see that Barb is wearing all black.
Barbara is dressed for a funeral. Black turtleneck,
Thing.
dark makeup, smoky eye.
New haircut.
Yeah,
We see you,
cool
Barb.
new-do. And just, she's clearly in mourning. Everything she does. That's my point. Like, you can have an opinion on your children. I don't have kids. Never will. You can have an opinion on your children's spouses. You certainly shouldn't voice it on live television.
Like basic stuff. I will say though, when Peter was breaking up with Hannah Ann, like Hannah Ann got her moment. Like she looked good. I'm sorry, you're texting people. Oh, wait.
No, this is part of you get to look at your damn phone.
I was sitting there yelling. Well, I know I was yelling because I put it in all caps. Who's gonna break up with who? Hannah Ann looked great the whole time. Like she was very poised and she told him off and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's all she ever wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she got her moment. And that was the first time I liked her. Maybe it wasn't genuine, maybe it was, but she was well spoken. She stood her ground. She made some valid points about what he should and shouldn't have done and how that was her one shot at a first engagement and how he blew it because he was careless. So she had a lot of good points.
I know that we're trying really hard not to talk about Barb, but it's really hard.
Yes.
Because when they were showing Hannah Ann and Peter breaking up and Hannah Ann telling Peter off, Barb clapped.
She applauded her son having his heart broken.
Yeah. When Hannah Ann is in the hot seat with Peter, she drops a bomb and she says that Peter had to reach out to Hannah Brown to get more closure. I would like to know more about that.
Right. It sounded like she meant since the proposal. It didn't sound like she was talking about it at the beginning because she said he asked me if he could reach out to Hannah Brown.
Yeah. So we will be looking into that.
Our network's looking into it and they're going to get back to us, but we won't update you because the show's over.
Yeah, but we'll know.
So after Hannah Ann and Peter called off the engagement, Chris Harrison flew to Auburn to sit with Madison. And I don't know if this was sanctioned by Peter or not because he spoke on behalf of Peter a lot. He was
Peter doesn't know I'm here.
Peter doesn't know I'm here, but I know Peter loves you and I know you're his dream girl.
Like, Chris, why do you keep doing this?
Yeah, he's getting way into the mix this season, which I like because I think Peter needed, if any Bachelor needed Chris to step in,
assistance,
or someone to step in from the outside and say, we all see what's going on here. You love this girl. You just can't figure it out because your mom's in your head. I'm glad that Chris did that because he's the matchmaker this season, which they've never really had him do. He's supposed to be a impartial observer, but anyway, he stepped in and he said, Peter got engaged, but hey, guess what? He's single now, and I think he'd like to talk to you. And then he flew back to LA, had Madison fly back to LA, and then they told Peter, go stand by the pool, Chris Harrison's gonna come talk to you. And so when Peter turned around, it wasn't Chris Harrison, it was Madison. So
it was a cute surprise too.
The whole
seeing
reunion
Peter's smile was really sweet.
Oh yeah, he was very surprised and very happy.
It was very sweet.
They ended up talking, having a discussion. It sounds like in the days following that meeting, they only met that one day, but they continued to talk over the phone up until tonight's live airing.
And when Madi comes out, she looks great. And Her eyelashes
Her
look good,
eyelashes have been fixed. Somebody in the back did her hair.
Yeah.
A little conditioner in it. Did her eyelashes.
They looked good.
She looks great.
Maddie and Peter talk about their relationship a little bit.
They seem to keep it kind of private for two reasons, I
Yeah.
would guess. One, it's their business, and two, it's probably extremely hard to talk openly with Barbara
Yeah, with Barbara.
right over there.
Basically, Peter ended up saying that they're just going to take things one day at a time. And I do like that Chris Harrison didn't push him on that. Usually he's like, come on, let's set a date for a wedding. Let's do this.
Yeah,
like, that's got to be awkward.
But this is a little more serious.
Yeah.
And Chris recognized that.
So, but he didn't do that this time, which was great. At one point, Chris Harrison asked Barb how she was feeling, and Barb went off.
Chris, of course, I have my feelings. And, you know, the show last night, it didn't show everything. It started on a rocky road because she had us wait 3 hours for her to come in she didn't want to meet us. So we were there 3 hours. We had just come across the country, across the world. And we were exhausted and, you know, we were just getting used to the time there. And we had to wait 3 hours. And when she did come in, the whole family, you know, we didn't get an apology from her. And when I proceeded to ask her if she was madly in love with my son, she said no, and that she would not accept a proposal in 4 days.
Barb was such a baby in that moment. Like, you've really been holding the grudge that Maddie made you wait for 3 hours. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you are a grown woman.
Right. She's like, we were traveling and we were tired. We're like, guess what? They're all tired. They've been doing this for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Barbara, you need counseling. And Peter's dad, simp.
And that was her.
You need to man up.
Yeah, stop being such a simp. Chris Harrison gives Maddie a chance to respond to Barb, and Maddie is just perfect. Now looking at them, if Peter and Maddie are going to be together, I don't know how it's going to last. Not because of them and not because of their differences. You can work through all that.
Right.
It's the family.
Right. It's
Like,
very
what are you
hard
gonna
to
do?
have a successful marriage when your parents aren't on board and you keep the parents in your life. Now, what Peter should do is, if Madison really is his wife, the one he chooses, and she chooses him, he should cut his parents off and move on. I know that's hard, but that's the point of marriage. You're supposed to leave your parents and cling to your wife. It says it right there in the good book. And he's like in this purgatory between leaving his mom and joining his wife, but he needs to cut the umbilical cord.
That's another thing that the family is concerned about, and they talked about this on Monday night's episode. They keep saying that Peter's lifestyle is going to have to change if he's with Maddie, and how you shouldn't change and all this stuff.
That drove me crazy.
And I'm like,
you should change.
Yeah.
You should grow up.
Are you really going to keep going to the club with your married self?
I know this isn't a meme review show, but some of the funniest memes were it was like Barbara when she found out Madison doesn't like to party and she's like crying really hard.
I mean, it's insane.
It's like, that's okay.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, it is.
The
brother was like, but you like to go out
it.
and go to bars and meet girls. Like, a lot of that's going to change. Like, no
Of
you're
course
getting married.
It's frustrating because it's not like Maddie is asking Peter to do something crazy with his life.
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, I want to, put God at the center of our relationship. Is that something you want to do? And he's like, yeah, I want to grow in that area. And she's like, great, let's do it.
Yeah, done.
And then the whole world is so mad. And it's just so backwards. Everything is so backwards and frustrating. We live in such a weird time where everybody thinks that they have to be like 100% themselves all the time. And if I like going to clubs, then I have to like going to clubs all the time, even if my partner doesn't like it.
Yeah, and I can't change or compromise who I am.
Yeah, but
yes,
no,
you can.
You absolutely can, especially if it's for something better than what you're doing, and especially if it makes you better than who you are.
I had to stop going electric cowboy, and I'm better for it. Although I might go back one of these Thursdays.
Maybe they are supposed to be together, but they're probably not going to be together because of Barb.
That will be the biggest heartbreak of all this, is if they really are a good fit, which it appears they are, and they can't get past the mother-in-law. I hope when she's on her deathbed in about 5 or 6 years, that she's realizes, I ruined my son's chance at true love, and I'm a monster, and then she just goes to hell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I like my mother-in-law.
Or heaven. No,
Sue, you're a good mother-in-law.
Yeah, you're a great mother-in-law. So we could go on and on for hours about our love for Barbara. But to summarize it all, she has a problem. She's ruining her son's life. I hope Peter and Madison are able to kind of isolate from all of that noise and find out if they really are going to be together. This may be our last episode recapping this season of The Bachelor, and we're not going to do recaps of Listen to Your Heart because Sarah has another project she's been looking forward to working on all through the month of April, so that's going to take up all of our time and creative energies, and you're welcome to stick around and watch that. That whole project wraps the same week that The Bachelorette starts, and so we will be right back here talking about Claire's rocky journey to find love. Sarah, do you have final thoughts for the whole season? Anything you'd like to say before we sign off for a few weeks?
My final thoughts for the whole entire season are that I have never felt so up and down about contestants before. I'm still Team Peter, and now seeing how a little glimpse into his childhood and how he was brought up makes me like him even more, because I'm like, oh, you sweet baby. You don't know how to get out. I'm excited about Claire. She was amazing after the final rose thing tonight. She was amazing.
She's going to be a very good bachelorette, very strong bachelorette.
Yes, I'm so excited. Stay hard and keep jamming.